Adelante, cubano, que Cuba peleará por heroísmo, pues somos soldados que vamos a la patria liberar, limpiando con fuego, que harás con esa alma infernal, de gobernantes indeseables y de tiranos ensayables que a Cuba ha hundido en el mar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adelante, cubano, que Cuba peleará por heroísmo, pues somos soldados que vamos a la patria liberal, limpiando con fuego, que harás con esa arma el infernal, de gobernantes indeseables y de tiranos ensayables que a Cuba ha hundido en el mar. Adelante, cubano, que Cuba peleará por heroísmo, pues somos soldados que vamos a la patria liberal, limpiando con fuego, que harás con esa arma el infernal, de gobernantes indeseables y de tiranos ensayables que a Cuba ha hundido en el mar.
My pilot and I had landed at this little field outside of Havana many times. I used it as a refueling stop on my way from the United States to my ranch in Jamaica. And sometimes I came just for a week of fun and games in Cuba. This time, however, it was different. I represented the Hearst Press and had been commissioned to do a series of articles on the rebel leader, Fidel Castro, which in itself was fine, but the question was, how could I get to him? My old friends were still around, but Havana was not what it used to be. On the surface, it was still gay, but underneath, a terrible tension was growing. You could feel it. The streets were still crowded, shops still full, but they wouldn't remain this way with the sugarcane production at a standstill. Castro's strategy of destroying the cane was beginning to pay off. I checked into one of the better hotels, as I decided there was no use me trying to be secretive. Not knowing what to expect, I was traveling very light. This surprised my friend, the bellboy, as I usually came prepared for at least a week's stay. I waded through the official welcoming committee as good-naturedly as possible, but my mind wasn't on autographs because an agent was to contact me after I arrived. I was to know him by the note he would hand me, written in lipstick. I could only wait. The view around the hotel pool made this easy. To be as obvious as possible, that was my policy. So I sent for a barber and a manicurist to give me the works. This made me feel a little stupid sitting out there, but since every hotel in Havana was crawling with government spies, I felt the best way to avoid suspicion was to act like a Hollywood character. Actually, the cogs of Castro's machinery were moving faster than I expected. Fidel Castro had decided a good press in the United States would be very helpful to his cause, and he had approved seeing me immediately. So this was the guy I was expecting. Wow. At first, I thought she was just some autograph hunter. But when she forced me to read the note, I knew I was in business. Up to this time, it seemed like I was acting out one of the many scripts that the studio sends me from time to time, but now, face to face with one of Castro's messengers, I knew the whole thing was dead serious. After introducing herself, she suggested that we go to a little beach resort, some 40 miles or so up the coast. There were many people in Havana that would have tried to stop such an adventure. So, she wanted me to meet the main contact man as inconspicuously as possible. She said that there we could work out all the details relative to my trip behind the rebel lines. The young man she introduced me to came right to the point. He had been in direct contact with rebel headquarters and had the necessary permission for me to go behind the lines. He told me it would be a pretty dangerous journey on my account, as several of their carrier planes had been shot down by government aircraft. I suggested that I could use my own plane, which wouldn't be suspected, I hoped. At first, he objected to this, but eventually agreed that it might be better. I was to land in a predetermined grass strip near the mountains. Then, my pilot was to take off directly for the United States. I'd then be picked up by a carrier plane and flown to headquarters. So, we shook hands. After an early morning briefing, my pilot left for the airport. And after breakfast, we arrived trying to look as casual as possible. He'd filed a flight plan for the United States, and on the surface, it looked like another friendly party. As we shook hands, the agent gave me my identification for the pilot of the pickup plane. There was certainly no turning back from this point. I'm happy to say my trip was a success. And I came out of it with a whole skin. Well, almost. During my stay with the rebels, I sent back to the United States many stories. The most interesting of which concerns the young women that fought with the soldiers in the mountains. The Cuban rebel girls. They were wonderful. And more specifically, it concerns 2 Americans who found themselves mixed up in this vicious little war.
Hey, Jackie, what's all the excitement?
I finally got a letter from my brother.
How wonderful. How's your family?
They're fine.
Have they seen Johnny?
Yes. About a month ago, he and a couple of rebels hid from the police in our sugar mill. They left the next morning to join Fidel. You know, my people admire him very much. I wonder why he gave up everything here to help us.
He's always been like that. Ever since high school, he's been on the side of the little guy. I'd love to see the big jerk again.
How much of a chance would you take if you could see him next week?
Almost anything. Why?
I have to go to Florida in the morning to make arrangements for a large shipment of arms. My work's finished here. How would you like to go back to Cuba with me?
Me? A rebel? What could I do?
Well, there are many things you can do. The women of my country are doing a wonderful job. But maybe it's too much to ask of an American.
Look, my boyfriend's down there, isn't he? If I can be of some help, I'm ready now.
You can be a lot of help. These guns are very important to our movement. I can't do it alone. Will you come?
Sure. And boy, will I be glad to get out of this dump.
In every revolution, certain trusted patriots are sent to other countries to procure arms, money, and food. It's interesting the extent they must go to get such things back to the home country. Scouts search every underworld area for guns and other weapons of war. There are no questions asked. It's simply a matter of cash in return for the merchandise. The cost of any war is exorbitant. In this case, some of the money was supplied by wealthy, idealistic Cubans and other Latin people. But the bulk of the financing had to come from the pesos, saved by the multitudes of people in Cuba hoping for a new chance in life. Of course, the American girl wanted to be near her boyfriend. That's understandable. But the Cuban, a girl from a very wealthy, aristocratic family, had everything to lose. Well, it's gratifying to know that some people can still put idealism ahead of their personal gains and losses. But besides idealism, it still takes plenty of guts for a couple of young kids to board an aircraft and head into such a troubled area with $50,000 in their handbag. When the girls arrived in Miami, their inattention was growing. They were carrying a lot of money. And although it wouldn't buy a lot of guns, it would buy the type most needed at the moment, automatic weapons. The Cuban girl felt her responsibility deeply. A responsibility that could not end until the arms had been safely landed in Cuba. Rather than take a chance on a train or a bus, the girls decided to drive to Key West, where they were to make contact with the sea captain who was going to smuggle the arms into Cuba. They paid in advance and made arrangements to leave the car in Key West. It was going to be a one-way trip, at least as far as the car was concerned. Key West is a beautiful spot, and it was also a hotbed of intrigue. With things brewing in the Caribbean, a close watch was kept at the airport and the harbor. Still, under one form of disguise or another, some of the operators managed to slip through. They didn't last long, but at the prices they got, it didn't take too many trips for them to retire.
Buenos tardes, señoritas.
Captain Alvarez?
Won't you sit down? I understand you have a message for me from Venezuela.
Here's my identification. I have the money. Do you have the shipment?
The shipment is coming from Miami. Do you have the $50,000?
You're not going to give it to him now, are you?
I've been instructed to give you the money only after we clear the 3-mile limit.
2 young girls? All that money? Maybe you never reach the 3-mile limit.
What?
This money was raised through the contributions of many poor people. Their hopes and dreams go with it. Fidel Castro trusts you. Is he wrong?
I was only teasing you. You'll get your guns. Come on, let's go.
Most of the boats were surplus Navy vessels, disguised as fishing craft. The arms or other items were collected over a period of time and stored box by box in the hold. One day, instead of going to the normal fishing grounds, the small craft would make a quick run for the Cuban coast. It was no easy trip. First, they had to evade the U.S. Coast Guard, then the Cuban Navy. Next came the coral reefs off the coast, and then the Cuban Army planes. Quite a tough adventure for men, let alone a couple of little girls. Even the American kid admitted later that she faced the trip scared to death and, well, trying not to show it. Now the feeling in Havana was very tense. Around the clock, the nervous politicians were compiling list after list of people accused of some act of treason. With fanatical regularity, the secret police were ordered out to make arrest after arrest. Maria, the girl that had helped me get into the mountains with Castro, was unaware that she was on their list. The police cars were already rolling in her direction as she went to her rendezvous near the docks.
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting, but I was afraid I might be followed. We're going to move you out tonight. There'll be a vegetable truck downstairs, and when I give the signal, run down the stairs one by one and climb in the back of the truck. We're going to transport you to Oriente tonight.
Policia!
No, you can't go out that way. You can't go out that way. They'll catch you. Please, you can't go out that way.
Only if you've been through it can you know the terror that arises inside of the hunted. There's no alternative, no place to turn, no justice that could be turned to for protection. If you were caught, you could be sure of horrible torture before your death, and then your body would be thrown to the sharks off Morro Castle. These underground people knew the penalty, and they faced it. But no matter what amount of bravery they had, it was still hard at the moment of discovery to suppress the terrified, almost hysterical feeling of having to get away. Get away! In spite of the secret police, the traffic in people, money, and illicit arms continued. A recruit here, a bit of financing there, and guns, one by one, were added to the arsenal. It was a slow and tedious process, but by the time I reached the mountains, it had begun to snowball. One of the best suppliers of guns were foreign sailors. For instance, a $30 pistol picked up in the United States might bring as much as $500 around the coast of Cuba. These girls, posing as streetwalkers, would pass it on to the underground. And after changing hands as many as perhaps 20 times, it would find its way into the mountains. The underground didn't always win, however. The police, through torture and their informers, usually got the information they needed. They had learned that Jacqueline was in New York, arranging for the arms shipment, and they'd come to her sugar mill to make retributions on her family.
Shall I go after him?
Not now. We'll get him later. You'll be sorry for this state.
I'm only sorry my children can't live in a free country.
The mountains offered the only refuge to the little underground girl Maria, to Jackie's brother, and to hundreds of other hunted people. As the movement grew, more and more professional men and women joined. Their services, especially the doctors and nurses, were a great help. On the most part, this revolution has been depicted in a rather, shall I say, glamorous way. But I can guarantee you that many, many hardships and privations were endured by those rebel soldiers and girls. I've seen many such places as this so-called hospital several times in Korea, in Spain, in other wars, and with the rebels. But it's still a shock to me to see major surgery performed at the roadside.
Are you tired?
Yes, but it's better than what might have happened to me back in Havana.
You were lucky to get through.
Yes, I was. But I hate to think of what happened to the others.
Yes.
Maria and Ben had used the help of their own underground to make their way into the mountains. Her work had been far more important in Havana. But now that she was hot there, she was looking forward to fighting side by side with the soldiers. The guards knew they were coming, but they still had to prove identity and be cleared by radio from the main camp.
Vamos a interrogar a los prisioneros luego.
¿Está bien?
Ahí.
¿Está bien?
It's Raul. It's my friend Raul. I'll see you later.
Hello.
Raul, my friend.
Hello, Johnny.
You made it. Good, good. I'm glad to see you. How's your sister, Jacqueline?
She's in Florida arranging for a large arms shipment. It's very important for us.
Good, good. How's your mother?
She let me escape, but she was caught by the police. I'm afraid things won't go very well for her.
I'm sorry to hear that. She did a lot of good work for the movement. Well, maybe they won't harm her because of her age.
I hope not. Excuse me, this is Senorita Rodriguez. Meet Johnny Wilson.
Mucho gusto.
Johnny is teaching our soldiers some things he learned in Korea. Senorita Rodriguez was with the underground until she was nearly caught.
Oh, well, good. Now you're one of us. Well, come on down to the camp and I'll show you around.
I have learned from the main camp that a smuggling ship will land in our sector tonight. I want you to get your men prepared to march.
Well, Comandante, we have two new recruits. This is Senor Dominguez and Senorita Rodriguez. I can vouch for Senor Dominguez, and I think the young lady has her own identification card.
You're welcome. I'll see that you get outfitted. And if all goes well, I'll be able to give you better equipment tomorrow. We're expecting a large shipment from Florida tonight.
Is my sister on board?
What is your sister's name?
Jacqueline Dominguez.
Yes, she is on board. She is with an American girl named Woods.
Beverly? Why, that little devil. Commander, do I have your permission to lead the raid tonight?
No, I am going to lead the raid myself. But for a diversion, I am burning a cane field, and I want you to lead those men.
May I go?
Why don't you stay around camp for a while before you do anything dangerous?
I've been through quite a bit of danger already.
Well, since it is your sister, I will let you go.
What about me?
Your time will come soon enough. Now get yourselves outfitted, and you'll be back at 5 o'clock for the briefing.
Wait a minute, Raul. That girl means an awful lot to me. Be sure she gets back here safely.
To get set for a raid wasn't just a question of opening a bunch of boxes. Here, bullets had to be homemade. The equipment kept clean as best as possible, and a small supply of grenades handed out to those who could use them. There weren't many. But I must say that I was deeply impressed by the spirit of the young people who were facing unbelievable odds. Their continual good spirits were one of the main factors that eventually led them to victory.
Comandante.
Johnny.
What are your instructions for the raid tonight?
Well, I want you to burn the cane in these areas here.
Yeah?
We'll keep the roads covered, so don't worry.
All right, okay.
Take whatever men you need here.
All right, Oh, doesn't look bad. Won't need more than 4 or 5 men, I don't think. Usted. Usted. Yeah. Buena suerte.
Come on.
Vámonos.
Each raid was planned with great care, detail by detail. Because there were so few well-trained soldiers in the rebel army, it was necessary to recruit war veterans from other countries, such as ours. Even with complete victory, these mercenaries had very little to gain. Once again, I had to admire the ability of some of we humans to put idealism ahead of personal gain.
Diversion. Let's get some more men and search the beach.
Mother helped me escape, and I've been up in the hills ever since.
Well, anyway, you're safe.
How's Johnny?
He's out leading another raid, and he was very surprised when he heard you were coming.
I'll bet.
He's staying. Follow me and stay low. This way. Hurry! Hurry! Don't stop!
Rapido! Rapido! Okay, spread out. Don't let any of them get away.
We've been attacked. I'll have to get the girls out. It's difficult to travel in these clothes, but you'll have to. This is the trail to the hills.
I'd been out with some of the troops on a scouting expedition and was headed back to my camp alone when I first met this kid and heard her story. She and her friends had been traveling all night and had somehow escaped the army patrols. As I approached the river, I was surprised to find the girl in rather peculiar circumstances. She wasn't too amused, especially when I offered some suggestions.
Oh, I've lost a shoe.
Yeah? Let me see. Hey, this it?
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Oh.
Let me help you ashore. Now then, honey. Whoop! Let her go.
But I've never been on a horse before.
Well, it's time for everything. There we are.
Thanks. I'm sorry for the way I acted out there. Haven't I seen you someplace before? On TV or somewhere?
Well, could be. What's a pretty little American girl like you doing down here?
Looking for a man.
A what?
A man.
Ah, a worthy pursuit, I must admit.
Oh, I'm all dirty and wet. And I've ruined my only dress.
Oh, don't worry. My camp's just up here. We can probably find you something dry to change into. Your friends?
Yes, they are.
May I meet them? Come on. They were quite happy with the soldier clothes I got for them. However, I was more interested in her story, and I tried to get her to talk. So, she told me the whole story of her boyfriend, her trip down, the catastrophe of losing the arms, and the hope she had in meeting that boyfriend soon. It was interesting, very interesting, and I tried to pump her for more. Incidentally, it's somehow heartening to know that a Flynn kiss on the hand can still get a reaction. I only hope that everything would go as well for her.
Hello. Is Johnny here?
Le ordenaron mantener la posición. Nosotros trataremos de recapturar las armas esta noche.
What did he say about Johnny?
He isn't here. We're going to try to recapture our guns tonight. So we'll see him then. ¿Y el comandante?
El comandante escapó. Los demás murieron.
What? The commander escaped, but the rest are dead.
Well, come on.
You think they'll let us go tonight?
Probably not. Neither one of us has had any training with military equipment.
I haven't either. But anyone can work this radio. With the losses they had last night, they need all the help they can get. Sounds like fun. Maybe I'll get to shoot somebody. It's not as much fun as you might think. I'm going to take a bath.
A bath?
A bath. In the largest bathtub you've ever seen. Would you happen to have some soap?
Messy, but Woolworth special.
You know, the girls that have been here for a while would give anything for this bar of soap. When you become a rebel, you You give up a lot of things that make a feminine life easier.
Wait for us.
It's wonderful.
Oh, yes, doesn't it?
I didn't know about the views. Great. I dropped it.
Oh. Oh, I got the boat. Hey, let me have the soap.
Just a minute.
I think I'm gonna get out. Careful. Okay.
They told me you're going to be my assistant. I guess I'll have to show you how to use this thing.
I thought you were gonna show me how to use this.
Are all you Americans so bloodthirsty?
No, it's just we figured that if you've got a war to fight, you might as well fight it and get it over with.
This isn't even your war.
Yes, it is. I don't even know who these guys Batista and Castro are. That's your problem. But the guy I'm gonna marry is out there somewhere in this stinking lousy jungle, hiding. And if he has a reason for it, so can I.
I wish some of the Cubans felt as strongly as you do. Tonight we're going to be stationed about 5 miles from a railroad crossing. Sometime during the night, the police are going to try and move a truckload of arms that they took from us. Now, if we see that truck, our job is to notify the main forces so they can block the road.
But I won't get to see anything.
If we do our job right, it might help win the revolution.
I know, but when am I gonna see Johnny?
Well, we're meeting him before dark. Can you wait that long? Let's eat.
Try to contact Gringo.
Hello, Gringo. Hello, Gringo. This is Command. How do you read? All right, we'll contact you in approximately 20 minutes.
Gee, you mean I get to see Johnny in 20 minutes? Come on, let's go.
All right, forward.
Okay, Command. Keep coming until we see you.
Sorry, dear friend. Stay on guard. Stay low. Hey. Hey, over here. Oh.
Johnny! Oh, Johnny!
You little idiot, what are you doing here?
I had to see you.
You sure picked a fine place to do it.
Excuse me, Johnny. I'm going to have to send her up the road with the radio. You'll come with me to the railroad.
All right.
Hurry now.
Sorry, honey, but we both have a job to do. I'll see you later. Hey, where'd you get this?
Borrowed it this afternoon. Think you can run it?
Why not? Can't be too complicated. Go. Here, go on in.
This must be about 5 miles.
Seems more like 10. All we do is walk. We never fight.
We'll stop here.
Have you made contact yet?
Oh, Outpost 1 is coming in now.
Hello, Command. This is Outpost 1.
Hello, Outpost 1. Command here. read you loud and clear. Awaiting your signal. Please give complete description if possible.
Okay, Command, we'll do our best. This radio's a little obsolete, but it's the best we could get from the States. It's got a range of about 10 miles. You press this in to talk, and let it go to listen.
Can I try it?
Sure, but don't forget the call sign.
Hello, Command. Hello, Command. This is Outpost 1. Just testing. Just testing. Not just now, but I'll
Something's the matter at Outpost 1.
Hello, Command. Hello, Command. This is Outpost 1. The truck just passed us. 2 men in front besides the driver. 3 in the rear. A jeep following. 5 men there. No automatic weapons.
The truck is coming. They've got 11 men.
Get the commander.
All right, get ready, boys.
Come on, let's go down to the railroad crossing.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to stay here until somebody relieves us.
Relieves us? We'll miss all the fighting.
Our job is important here. Suppose somebody was coming down that road. Our reports will protect the men.
I guess there's more to this war stuff than I thought.
All right, Johnny. Now.
Outpost 1, this is command. Outpost 1, mission is finished. Hold your positions. We'll pick you up in a truck. Incidentally, I have a little mission of my own that isn't finished.
Isn't it beautiful out here?
Yeah, it's so quiet and peaceful. Hey, you never know there's a war on.
Look at that moon over there. Let's sit down.
Okay. Come on over here.
Oh, honey, I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
Oh, I don't know. Those gals in camp are pretty cute.
Oh, don't worry about them. All they think about is the war.
Well, now that I'm a rebel girl, I think I'll think about war, too.
Not a chance. Hey. Please.
Oh, honey.
Johnny! Johnny! Por aquí, Raul, over here.
Sorry to interrupt. The commander wants to see you. Fidel has ordered an attack on 8 sugar mills. This unit is attacking mine. We're to move out at dawn.
Sorry, honey. Looks like I'm gonna have to take another rain check.
Johnny!
Adelante, cubano. brillará con heroísmo, pues somos soldados que vamos a la patria a liberar, limpiando con fuego y arrasen con esa arma al infernal, de gobernantes indeseables y de tiranos ensayables que a Cuba han unido en el mar.
Now you two stay right here. You let me know by radio if anything passes by, okay?
Be careful.
I'm always careful.
Good luck.
Okay, hang on.
Yet.
Look, there are two of them over there. I'll get the one to the front.
Okay, take off.
Let's get him.
I found out what happened. The other division was delayed in the mountains, and we caught the full force of the counterattack. I'm sorry about Johnny.
When I first saw him, I thought he was dead. But his men think he was only wounded.
Well, I hope so. This morning, our troops cut the supply lines to the mill. Most of Batista's soldiers have pulled out. If he's alive, we'll recapture him.
Then the mill is liberated.
Well, there are still some troops there. But the next attack should be much easier.
When do we go?
As soon as we're ready to march again.
I'm ready now.
Have the boy.
Watch out! Barbudos!
Okay, let's get them all.
Okay, Command, go ahead. That's wonderful news.
Come on. Maybe they found Johnny.
They found the rear. Quickly. Quickly. Come on. Dirty Batista butchers. Come, let's go. Come.
I'm glad you talked us into this treat. We haven't had one since the revolution.
They're fun. I don't think you should go back to the army.
You've done your part. Why don't you go home?
Batista can't last long now. Stay with us until we can arrange a passage.
When I first got here, I didn't know what the word liberty meant. I read about it in books and stuff, but it took this trip for me to find out the meaning. Johnny, Maria and your mother, it's cost us all. But for the first time, I believe in something. I belong to something. Thank you very much. But I'm marching with the rebels in the morning.
The rebel strength was now at its peak. By the thousands, the government soldiers were deserting and joining the rebels. Their lines spread out all across Cuba, and town after town fell into their hands. But the shooting wasn't over, as I was to find out.
Here, let me help.
I'd appreciate it.
You'll be okay. Our men have almost captured Santa Clara. Casualties were very bad.
Anything that's worthwhile will cost.
I know, but how much longer can this government last? We get stronger every day. It'll have to end soon. Hey, there's my friend, the big ox. Hi, how are you?
Fine. Well, if it isn't little Esther Williams.
Hey, you're hurt. It's your knee.
Yeah. What burns me up, it's not my knee, this hole in my trousers. They're the only pair I've got.
We'll see about that later. Doctor, hey, doctor. Would you mind coming over for a minute, please, and seeing my friend?
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Bend your knee.
Huh? Ow.
Oh, I see. The trouble's up here.
Yeah.
We'll fix it somehow.
Thanks, Doc.
I bet this is the only needle in the Sierra Maestras. How did this happen?
Well, it was back up the road a bit. We were coming this way in a Jeep when overhead came the planes. They came in low and started strafing us. Anyway, out I went. Well, I guess this must have happened when I jumped. Say, whatever happened to that boyfriend you came down to see? Did you ever get together?
Yes.
Is he with you?
No, he was captured in an attack on a sugar mill. He was wounded. I don't know if he's dead or alive. I guess he's dead.
That's tough. But you just listen to me, and I'll tell you something. In time of war, things have a way of working themselves out, in spite of everything. So, just keep your chin up. Hey, what's this? Go on, sew it up. Wow, not to the skin. With the taste of victory over victory, the rebel army was now ready to roll over Havana. Suddenly, General Batista and his aides left. And now it was all over but the shouting and the parades. A jubilant crowd welcomed the bearded men into the capital. They'd won an impossible war. Now would come the trials and tribulations as they tried to stabilize a new government. This was the first step. There will be many more to come.
all right. It's nothing much.
What did they do to you?
Just spent a couple of weeks in jail. Got liberated yesterday. You know, I'm kind of tired of watching these parades. How about you?
Yeah, we've got a lot better things to do.
Now on.
Well, I guess this about winds up another stage in the fight to rid Latin America of tyrants, dictators. But the spirit started by this handful of wonderful rebels is spreading and growing stronger every day. And to all you young men and women fighting for political freedom and your own beliefs everywhere, I wish you good luck.
Con fuego, ya nace con sangre el infernal, de gobernantes indeseables y de tiranos ensayables que a Cuba ha hundido en el mar.